Oh, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Going live. We're live. Hello. Teacher Kelly said she is here first. No teacher, no show for you. And Thrive with Mary. Hey, Mary, thanks for coming. Well, today, guys, I'm excited to introduce to you Allison. Now I saw on your Instagram, Mrs. Allie. So do you go by Allie or Allison?
So when I teach my classes, I say I'm Miss Allie just because it's shorter to say.
Yeah.
But sometimes kids will call me Allison. They'll call me Teacher Allie, Teacher Allison, Sloan.
Right.
Been called them all.
Good. So today, I want to introduce you to her Instagram and to her, of course. Last week, I guess it's been about a week, Kelly and I did a live about our favorite Instagrammers or content creators from teachers, and we featured Allison because she has a lot of funny things to say, and we found you actually in the OutSchool Hub. So teacher Rebecca actually tagged us in it to let us know. So your channel is getting some views from the teacher community over here. So
it's fun.
Super fun. All right. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, I live in Texas. That's what I normally do when I meet my kids. I'm like, I'm from Texas. And I started teaching back in 2012 in a classroom. I taught 5th and 6th grade ELA for about 7 years. And then I had my second kid and decided to leave the school that I was at and stay at home with her. And then the pandemic.
Right.
So I was like, maybe not going back. I had started teaching through VIP Kid for a little bit, maybe about a year or so. And then I was actually on Instagram during the pandemic, and one of the VIP Kid teachers that I followed was talking about OutSchool. So then, of course, I got an ad for it, and it was one catered to my son, who's now in 1st grade. So he was pre-K at the time. And so I was like, oh, that'll be interesting. I'll just sign him up and have him take it. And so I remember sitting there watching him take this class on the computer and being like, I could do this. Right. So I started thinking about it and started thinking about what type of classes I wanted to take. And again, during the pandemic, it was, pretty crazy with everyone signing up and everything. Yeah. My son loves Pokemon. So actually my very first class that I still teach to this day, I have one section left just because I can't part with it. It was a Pokemon kind of like parts of speech, Mad Libs type of style. And then I created like a descriptive sentence class with one. And so I still have my 2 Pokemon classes that were my OG classes. But yeah, I started with that and then started doing one-on-one tutoring through OutSchool, and then kind of built lessons and curriculum through those one-on-one tutoring sessions, because they would come every week and I would have to find out things for them to do. And so I ended up creating a writing curriculum for different types of writing. I have a narrative writing unit, expository writing, poetry writing, personal narratives writing, and it kind of just grew from there. And I've been on OutSchool for the last 2 years since the beginning of August. So I hit the 2-year mark, and it's been so great. I've so enjoyed being able to come to my work, which is in my house, and just all the benefits. I mean, I know, as an online teacher, being at home and getting to do what you love and not have to deal with all the stuff. So that's kind of been my journey for the
Rebecca said, my story exactly. Yes, Rebecca, when she was talking, I really was thinking about you.
Rebecca, I'd love to chat because I'm sure we have some past school stories we could share with each other.
Yes. I think we've got quite a few brick and mortar teachers on here. I was brick and mortar too.
Yeah.
And I found VIP Kid differently though. So I was at a different stage in life than you and Rebecca. You and Rebecca were having your kids. I became an empty nester and I was a teacher. I'm like,
now what?
So super fun. Hey, Shaniqua, I hope your classes are going well too. So I was just thinking of something to say and then I forgot, but we're all used to that here. Oh, we need teachers like you for writing, because I will take science, give me the dirty science, give me the math, but writing, I'm like, ooh. So speaking of writing, I want to show one of your reels, okay?
Great.
I gotta share my screen. It's the one with the scary story.
Oh,
So this has to do with her writing, and I thought it was funny. Now I'm not gonna play the sound, because if you watched my latest video, you know songs on here are getting flagged. So we're not gonna show the sound, but you can get it without the sound. I've already checked into it. Oh, sorry guys. I gotta get to the right screen. There we go. I was trying to share my screen, but only YouTube was coming up. So
that one's funny. I actually reached out to the kid of that story. I was like,
yeah.
hey, just letting you know, I was really inspired by your story.
Okay, so you see Allison's face here. I'll just play it and you can see. So when a learner chooses horror as their subgenre for their story.
Yeah. So
So
the
tell
audio
us what's
there,
happening.
the audio, it's like an old meme sound from TikTok. And I remember when I was reading his story, it reminded me of that sound because it's pretty like graphic. He's 11, the kid who wrote the story. But it was written really well. So I'm like, hey, if this is the genre you like, this is the genre you like.
Right.
But it reminded me of that sound. So the guy in the TikTok sound, it's like, he's like, I guess hyperbolizing how like true crime podcasts work. So it's like her eyes were gouged out, her tongue was cut out, her nose was chopped off. And so he goes through all these like vivid description of like this body being like taken apart. So the sound was kind of viral, like in the past, and it reminded me of it. And so I was like, this is very relatable to what I'm reading right now.
And
but
I like
it was
the
a great
title.
Story, and he did a great job, but it was just kind of funny because it was a little intense, a lot of zombie blood action going on.
I like how you quoted him, splat, the creature exploded into a pile of mush and blood.
I was directly from his story, and I was like, okay, here we go. But yeah, spoiler alert, he has to unalive his friend because he becomes a zombie and starts attacking him. So got pretty intense in the climax of the story.
I love that you let them write about anything, because when I was a kid, I hated to read. Like I really, really didn't like it. I think that's why I want to teach kids to read so young now, but I did not like it. Like I would cry, I'd get upset. And the teacher told my parents, let her read whatever she wants. And my parents like, all she wants to read is Sports Illustrated magazines. And they're like, get her some magazines if that's what she'll read. And that's how I started liking to read, was they would give me stuff. It wasn't just like, here, read this book. And I'm like, you know?
Yeah.
So
and that's kind of what my vision was when I started these writing courses. The titles Be You and Become a Better Writer, because I want them to not have writing feel so scary. I think that there's this intensity when it comes to writing, and that kids can feel overwhelmed because it's like, okay, all of these words and sentences you have in your brain that you need to just come up with and put on paper. And I think whenever they're able to really connect with who they are and write about what they love, in his case, zombies, then they're able to express themselves and get those ideas out of their mind and onto paper, or in our digital world, onto the screen. So that's kind of been my vision from the beginning, of just allowing the kids to be themselves and to write what they want, giving them structure in, how it's written, and focusing on the quality, and giving them strategies that they can carry on beyond the class. But yeah, it's been fun. I mean, I did not like writing when I was younger either, until I figured out it can be structured in a way, and it can have a system. And once you figure that system out, then it does become easier.
Awesome. We do need to get your OutSchool classes in the description box as well. So after this, if you get a chance, you can send them to me and I'll add that. So if anyone's interested in having classes with teacher Allison on writing, or whichever, her Pokemon classes, then you can.
The Pokemon ones are kind of for the younger kids. Again, it's just, I couldn't part with them. But yeah, those are usually like 6 to 8 year olds for the Pokemon class. And then the writing courses kind of range from 8 to 13-year-olds, just depending on which course it is.
Excellent. I read you have some great reviews also. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks.
All right, let's look at another one. One of my favorite ones. I want to play the sound for this one. I already told Allison one of my favorite ones is her vibe one. So should I play the sound? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think
not
it's a copyrighted sound, so I think
Yeah,
you're
it's not a
okay.
song, so I should be okay. Let's give it a try. All right. It's this one right here, right?
I think it's
I think so. Let's give it a
Yeah.
try. If not, I marked a couple of them that I really like. So here we go. Yeah. I always want to start it at the beginning. Okay, here we go. Here's the beginning.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
Hey, I have something to tell you.
Is this gonna mess up my vibe?
Yes.
Then no.
So Allison, why don't you explain to us, for those that aren't teachers, teachers, we get that one, but
Yeah, I think any online teacher has experienced the eagerness of a learner who just wants to share everything that comes to their mind. And it's a hard balance trying to figure it out. Like classroom management in a school is very different than classroom management online. It's a little easier, I think. You know, we have a mute button. We don't have that in real life in the classroom, if only. Right. But you know, there are times when you have that overeager kid who just has something to say, and you're like, I hope this is related to what we're talking about, because you don't want to get off track, but you also want to let them share. You don't want to cut them off. You don't want them to feel silenced. But there are some times where you wish you could just be like, is this relatable? No? Okay, then no.
Yeah.
And
so
if
I
you
always
sing
think
it, maybe it would be better.
Yeah. And in kindergarten, it's like, anyone have any questions? Yes. And they're like, I like your hair.
Yeah.
Like,
last weekend I went to that's not a question.
Let's do a lesson on questioning.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's kind of where, you know, my account is just kind of like things I feel like are relatable and you know, related to teaching, obviously, and related to writing, but there's just a lot of things that the online world, it's just unfamiliar. Like it's the future of education, I think, honestly. And so it's nice to have that relatable experience and be able to laugh about it.
Rebecca said, sometimes I wish I could mute my 2-year-old.
I've
tried the mute button on the remote controls. It doesn't work.
Not quite the same. Not quite the same.
Awesome. I'm trying to think what else. So you talked about your age groups. What is your favorite subject or lesson to teach? Is it the same online and when you were in brick and mortar?
I definitely prefer teaching the narrative story unit, just because it's fun getting to see the creativity. Personally, I think essays are so boring because you're just repeating yourself and sharing information, but it's a skill that needs to be taught, and you know, it helps develop good communication. But narrative writing is definitely my favorite. Poetry is fun too, but I think you have to have a learner who wants to write poetry to have good poetry, or else they're just kind of following directions. But with story writing, I think that's my favorite, just because there's so much freedom to create something and just to see the difference in all the stories. I have my kids create a digital storybook at the end of each course. And so I have them all together, like hundreds of books on this platform, and they're all different. And it's just really cool to see all the different minds and how kids can just come up with their own stories from their own experiences. It's really cool.
Have you ever made a joke book? So my first year as an aide, I was an aide for years before I became a teacher. And the teacher had the kids all come up and tell her one joke, and she made a joke book for the parents at the end of the year. And you know, kindergarten, none of the jokes made sense.
Make any sense.
The funniest book. And this has got to, man, I've been a teacher for 13, 14 years, and it was before that. So, you know, you can just imagine how long ago this was. And I still remember the kindergarten joke book. It was so cute.
That's so fun. That's a good idea. I mean, you could probably put a whole book together of the funny things kids say online,
yeah.
being with
Yeah.
so many, because it's like kids from all around the world. I think that's the cool thing about being an online teacher. You have access to meeting with kids from all over the planet, and you get to build a relationship and have an impact on not just, your local community, but anywhere in the world. I think it's really cool.
Worldwide. So Allison, what made you want to start making Instagram reels? Or you also have a TikTok, right?
I do have a TikTok. It was originally a personal one, and it's kind of like my practice round when it comes to creating these things. And I'm like, okay, that one was fine. We'll move it over to the Instagram. Because I do have just my professional account on Instagram. I actually started that teacher account when I worked at school. I was a coordinator at the campus I worked at before I left, and I was in charge of student, staff, and parent engagement. And so I created the account for that reason, to kind of like be, a teacher of Instagram, well, that was all the rage. And so it kind of just morphed into, promoting my classes and stuff, since I had the account already. It wasn't until this summer, I think, that I really dove into it. Just, I don't know. I think it's fun. I've kind of set that limit for myself of, I'm going to just keep doing this until it's fun and not fun. Right. I don't want to do it to where it becomes stressful, or I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to post something. I have to think of something. Yeah. But I was already on TikTok, because it's addictive anyway. And
I have not.
Okay, be careful then if you decide to.
I have an account.
It was inspiring seeing, all these people and their creative minds producing content. And it was like, this is fun, and it's entertaining, and, relatable. And so I just wanted to give it a try and started doing it. And I had like the most random video go viral. The first time it got like 20,000 views on Instagram. And I was like, this is like not even that good of a video. Like, why is this? And so it's just kind of funny, like figuring it all out. I'm not trying to stress out about it, but I'm just here to have fun with it and try and make people laugh, feel relatable. I actually started a separate account called Offline Teachers that hopefully will kind of have that community feel, just because like I'll do stuff like that on my professional account, but also do like writing reels and things like that. But I just wanted there to be a place where online teachers could go and like have reels that were funny and relatable, and, feel understood, just because it's such a new profession that, we got to stick together. We got to figure it out along the way. But yeah, it was just kind of like, I just want to have fun with this, and I enjoy doing it. And that's the extent that I'm going to do it.
Awesome. So I'm going to show them what the offline teacher one looks like so they can follow it as well.
Okay, cool.
But first, if somebody wanted to check out your Instagram, how would they find you?
So my teacher account on Instagram is Hi Miss Sloan with underscores in between each word. Because again, I started it back when I was teaching in the classroom, and all the kids would come up to me like, hi, Miss Sloan. And so that's kind of where it's stuck. I've considered changing it just because my last name isn't really used in the online teacher world, but just can't seem to part. But so this is my Hi Miss Sloan account. This is where I have my classes, the link there if you want to take any outschool classes. And then the offline teachers, the link is on there as well. You can check that out if you want. If you are a teacher, an online teacher, and want to be featured on Offline Teachers, you can just DM me, and we can post one of your funny, relatable reels, and you can be featured on there. So Kasie, you're welcome to make a video, and I can add it to that.
Super fun. So I'm gonna leave it at this one. Now my timer went off for a good reason, because she's got to go teach. Unfortunately, the trash truck just is coming by right now, but she's got to go teach. But I'm going to leave you with this reel because it's hilarious, and it's the feeling you get when you're about to leave online teaching. Cash out. Okay.
Yeah, definitely enjoyed having my Fridays off and my Monday mornings free.
Right.
Because who wouldn't, right?
I love your face on that one. So if you want to hear the song that goes with it, it works perfectly with that reel. go ahead and check her Instagram out so that you can see it too. It's a lot of fun. So thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, this was so fun. I'm glad we got to chat and hang and
Yeah.
share our experiences. But yeah, anybody out there creating content, let me know because I want to follow y'all because I need a good laugh.
Super fun. So Rebecca said, yes, you're very relatable. So she can relate to your content as well. So check out, I'm just going to shout out the channels here. We have Teacher Kelly Tag is here. Thrive with Mary is here. Rebecca F is here. Teacher Shaniqua is here. Thank you all so much for coming. And don't forget to subscribe or follow Mrs. Sloan. Thank you guys. Have a great one.
Bye.